Hi guys. So a couple of days ago, I drug out the fabric bins that are on top of my cabinet outside because I was looking for accordion books. This was right before the accordion demo. So if you go back to the archives and watch the accordion book demo, then you will see me show some of the stuff that it was in those big fabric bins. And it was super fun to dig through all of the scrapbook projects that mini book projects, art journal mini projects that I used to teach. It was like a trip down memory lane a little bit. And as I was digging through those boxes before I put them back, shocker, I actually put them back on the cabinet, I found something. I found this white journal. And I was like, there's another wire-bound journal. And I opened it up and I about died because I thought before that I had found my very first journal. And I don't know if you remember me saying when I opened that journal that it was missing the very first page that I ever did, and I couldn't figure out why, but I don't know what happened to it, but it's missing the first page. But this was my first journal. Well, it turns out I was completely wrong. I really had no idea. But it was missing the very first page. Or that journal was missing the first page, but that was not my very first journal. This is my very first journal. And so I really enjoyed popping this open. And then, so I wanted to show it to you because I'm not afraid of showing you my early work. I think I still love it. This is my origin story for real this time. I thought it was for real before, but I was wrong. Hey, I have lots of really crazy memories. I have friends from high school that remember stuff markedly different than I remember stuff, and it just cracks me up. All right, so very first art journal page I ever did. Notice that it's very scrapbooky because that was the world that I was coming from. And I'm just going to read you some of the journaling. Why do I want to create an art journal? And some of this stuff, I have a feeling that you guys are going to relate to. I love art. Art has been bubbling deep, deep inside me for years. Thoughts of someday, and when I have time, and when the kids are bigger and more self-sufficient, that's how I put off the art. But there were even more ominous thoughts. You can't draw. You're creative, but not in that way. You're a poser, you're a wannabe. The finished result won't be art. It'll be kitschy and mediocre. Over the last few years, I've worked on shedding that severe and limiting self-criticism, and I'm at the point where I'm ready to allow that bubbling art to surface and express itself, but I'm still not comfortable enough to call myself an artist. Anybody relate to that? You know, this entire journal is almost like a little mental treatise on me coming to terms with being an artist or not, and my own skill. So that was the very first one that I ever did. And I dated it. Shocker. August 27th, 2004. Okay. So 2004 was the beginning. So then this page. This art is all about a beginning, about giving myself permission to do whatever I want on a page and to not worry about rules or right, wrong, or even my own talent or lack of. Does that sound familiar? It's also about permission to let loose and to create no matter the result. It's also a nudge to get myself journaling again. My journals have been largely ignored by me for years now. That ends today. I think for a while I was writing in my regular journals like 3 times a year. Art. What is art anyway? Part of this process for me is debunking my traditional views of art, like the red boy, and setting myself free to call what I create art. I feel like a young, inexperienced pupil, needing approval or at least a little bit of reassurance that what I am doing is valid. But then who cares? It's for me and no one else. So this is like my early artistic thoughts taking form here, and figuring out what I like and what I don't like. And I just find it, I'm basically talking myself into my current philosophy, which pervades literally everything I do. This truly is the beginning. And it's interesting that I was writing it down and that I was feeling so insecure. And now, I'm like, I don't care what I do, blah, blah. This was a process, okay? Here's another one. I've been thinking a lot about how I spend my time. In order to accomplish my creative ambitions, I need to be more diligent about balancing my time. That's hilarious. My boys need and deserve my time, and I need time for art. It's about making art a priority and a necessity instead of a luxury. I am at a crossroads now. 2 boys in school full time, only CJ at home with me during the day. I've been at a bit of a loss for what to do with myself at times. Housework? Yuck. I spend lots of time with CJ, but now for the first time in 9 years, I find myself with time that I can use in creative pursuits, or I can waste that time on email and free cell. And so I am making a conscious decision to create. Again, a little wisdom from myself in 2004. Creating things is a conscious decision. And an impulse, for sure. This class has been such a good experience for me. I left class on Saturday night feeling elated. I actually don't know what class I was talking about. What a rush it is to be creative and set free the mind, soul, and heart. I'm so excited about what I've accomplished, blah, blah, blah. Today I forced myself to sit and collage. I don't want to get out of the habit or lose the spark so soon. I've done no housework today. I'm constantly at odds with myself about housework. I hate it and find little joy in doing it, though I do like to be in a clean house. But housework is the job that is never done, and it is the job that is utterly thankless. I need to learn how to find joy, at least satisfaction in it somehow. I think for me, finding joy in housework is too much to ask. All right. So notice the style here. This is what we did at the time. This was what, everybody was collaging. Vintage was huge. Glazing. You can tell that I had portfolio oil pastels and I had some acrylic paints, all in earthy colors, because that's what was in the magazines. That is what we all did. Another one. I've agonized over these 2 pages all day. Does that sound familiar? But I like how they turned out. My style of art is kind of grungy, collagey, definitely not everyone's style. Because of that, I'm hesitant to show my work to people. I feel like such a beginner. I have so much to learn, and sometimes I get frustrated by my inability to get my art to look like I want it to look. I admire and love the layering of Lynn Perella. Her work is absolutely exquisite. I had a good day. Oh, I actually did a workout. There's a shock. But just those feelings of inadequacy, of feeling new, that's how I felt. I felt new. I felt like I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Spent the afternoon painting. The results are okay. Pure experiments. Note to self, not many pens will write over oil pastel. So I love this, and I love that I left it, because this is another one of my gospel according to Dina's. If I make an ugly page, I just leave it. I don't give a rip, because I learned my lesson and then I make a new page. I don't spend hours and hours trying to fix things unless I feel like motivated or in a creative wormhole. But I learn my lessons and move on. And so even my current journals are filled with artistic lessons that I've learned that I'm at peace with, and I don't waste time or gessoing over them. I just let it go. Really ugly colors. Looked like I bought some metallic paint. I do not still have my original art supplies. They're all gone. General journaling, learning, lettering. I'm terrible at lettering. Talking about how I don't want to do my card classes anymore because I have neglected my own art for years. Look, early silhouette. I about died when I saw this. This was even before the other journal that I showed you before. So this is for sure November 15th, 2004, the first silhouette that showed up in some of my work. Yeah. Letter stickers that look like typewriter keys. Yeah. This was a page. The Indonesian tsunami happened that year. This was my response to that. Still trying to figure out who I am, be at peace with what what I was, what I am, what I'm becoming. All these words to describe myself. Teacher at heart, zitty, chubby, book lover, bargain hunter, champion of women, housework hater, cold cereal lover, bold at times, dedicated and loyal friend, big cups and fat straws. It's kind of fun. I haven't changed much, to be fair. Friend's husband was diagnosed with a brain tumor, glioblastoma. That's what this page is about. Frustrating with housework. Gosh, that's a common theme, eh? Common theme. All right, I want to read this one to you. Oh, the glaze here, it's so shiny. The riskiest thing I've ever done in my safe life of non-risks is to nurture the artist within and not listen to my inner critic, or any critic for that matter. So I art journal, I blog, I make time for me and leave other duties undone so I can discover myself, nurture myself, reinvent myself, grow myself into an artist. That's what it says on that shiny page. Does that sound familiar? It should, because this is the same with all of you. Look what's showing up on this page. White space. Can you believe that? White space is starting to show up. One of the things I struggle with in the art journaling process is getting the page to look like what I envision. Does this sound familiar? I get so frustrated that my hands cannot do what my brain is visualizing. I am still practicing and experimenting and trying to find my way and discover my own style. Whatever the result, the practice and process is a thrill. So what I'm hoping by sharing this is not to say, oh, look how far I've come, but which is part of it. But I still love every single page in this book. And I love that I took the time to write those frustrations down, because I hear this type of thing in class all the time, and you might look, and think, oh, but you've got this career now. All of this happened accidentally. It happened from hard work, and I didn't even know Diane Reevely at this point. This was still 2004, so. But this is what all the visual artists were doing at the time. Everybody was doing that. And so then the last page, art is an adventure, which I must embark to find myself. So this, I promise, is the very first one, unlike the other one that I thought was. Bad memory. And I hope you take all of that early insight to heart, that it colored how I feel now, and it colored everything I do, really. It colored everything I do. And yeah, somebody just quoted there, the practice and the process is a thrill. That's really the goal. So I hope that was helpful. I hope it gave you some hope if you're feeling frustrated. And I hope it makes you feel awesome about what you're doing, because what you're doing is awesome. I never look at somebody's journal page and think, well, that sucks. Never. That has never, ever in my life crossed my mind. Because it comes out of your soul, and what comes from your soul is never wrong. And Sandra says, don't cannibalize this one, and I agree. I actually had that very thought. I thought, this is one that I will not cannibalize, because this is basically history. And it just warmed my heart to read all of these feelings that I was writing about, that I hear you guys say all the time. And when I say I understand, now you know I really, really do. I get it. I totally get it. So thanks for joining me on this crazy artistic adventure. I really appreciate you all, and we'll see you next time. Q&A with Ranger in 40 minutes on Ranger's Instagram if you want to join. Talk to you guys soon.